Welcome to the Emergence Speaker Series. I'm your host, Marina Orms, and I'm chatting with some wonderful guests in this series about the Saturn-Neptune conjunction on February 20th, 2026, which is a very important and significant moment in a bigger picture of change. We're here to help you navigate these changing times and work with this energy to shape the future in the best possible ways. More details about this series are available at transformationalastrology.com, where you can sign up for a free account to get early access to each guest speaker's video. And you can also go there to see all the videos that have been released so far. Transformationalastrology.com to be notified and get early access to each video. I'm so excited to welcome our next speaker in this series, Deonne Wright. And Deonne Wright, RN, is an experienced energy practitioner with certifications in multiple healing modalities. She employs her training and experience as a spiritual coach to assist clients on their wellness journey. Her experience as a holistic nursing leader is the foundation for her work. Welcome, Deonne.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're super excited to hear about you and your expertise. And today you're going to talk to us about frequencies and healing frequencies. So you are not yourself an astrologer, although I know you've been interested in the energies, and you have some some of your expertise is in sound healing. And so you're going to share that with us today.
I'm pretty excited about it because there's a big connection between the planets and us as humans. They influence us significantly with their energies, but what we don't think about is that they are actually putting out a sound wave that affect us.
So what do you see in terms of sound? Like what do you think about when you think about the Saturn and Neptune coming together and the energy and the frequencies?
When it hits our bodies, when that frequency hits our bodies, our body can use that information to bring up our frequency. So each planet has its own frequency, which is a wave. And when that gets into our electromagnetic system, we can resonate with it, which means our body can help us match that frequency. And then our body can begin to entrain with it, which is where two oscillating systems will synchronize. And so that's one way that we can use that awareness of the planets and the energies that they're putting forth that reach us, how we can use that energy to help begin aligning with the energies of change that are coming for us.
So are you saying that the planets actually make a sound?
It may or may not be an audible sound, but it's a frequency that our body can use as intelligence to information.
And you're actually going to give us some sounds to listen to, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we can look forward to that. And tell me, what is the connection between those frequencies and maybe the frequencies that the planets are emitting that we can receive and our health, our own well-being?
So whenever we are in alignment or entrained with a frequency, a higher frequency than we are currently resonating at or vibrating at, we bring up our own frequency, which as we do that, our body functions better and more in a more healthy way. So the more that so of course our words have a frequency, our thoughts have a frequency, and when we aren't paying attention to our languaging, and we have, you know, negative self-talk, and we talk down to ourselves. That's a frequency that our body feels. And anybody who is familiar with Dr. Emoto's work with water molecules and the ways that all different kinds of music or prayer affects the water molecule, either disrupting the molecule or bringing it into a beautiful geometric design that is a sacred geometry, then that's a similar kind of thing that happens in our body because we're 70% water.
Yes. And so if water responds that way, what you're saying is that our bodies also respond to positive versus negative self-talk or other talk. And that is kind of directly showing how our kindness, our caring, our positive words, our positive ways of being in the world really make a measurable difference.
Yes. Well, and it also shows the power of intention and being able to align with that intention. The alignment is the thing, because the universe or spirit or God, source, whatever word you want to use, we don't always clearly understand the language that the universe uses. So it made a huge difference for me when I learned that the message that we send to the universe comes through our emotion. The universe hears us through the emotions that we carry within us. So, and then the universe responds with experience. So we may have an intention, we may think we are aligned with it, but we keep getting what we don't want. So that's a real clue to examine what are we thinking about? Are we thinking more about what we don't want rather than what we want? Is all of our attention put on our emotional desire? What does that emotion that we are attaching consciously to that intention? So when we can consciously attach the emotion, the appropriate emotion to our intention, and we focus on that, that's what the universe is going to hear. And that's how the universe will respond with experience, is to match our emotion and how it aligns with our heart and our desire. So that piece of the frequency is really important. And it doesn't always we don't always make that connection.
Totally. Yeah. No, I think what you're saying in kind of a different way than what I've been saying and some of these other astrologers have been saying is that when you meet these energies with a response that is intentional and aligned with your own desires in that big picture, like I don't mean desires like you want some expensive shiny thing. I mean desires like this is what you want for the world and for humanity and for your loved ones. And when you are, but you can just feel, even as I say that and you're saying it, as that it's a higher vibration to connect with that desire in the bigger picture, and that sense of really what our intention is and what we want to see. So and does that not also go the other way? So if the universe has frequencies, when we can align with the healing frequencies, it's good for us, right?
Yes. Which is why it's helpful to even understand that when we talk about the energies of the planets, that it's more than just, well, they're sending this out and this is the events that can happen around that. It's how do we internalize? So there's the frequencies that come to us from everywhere, bombarding us all day. So when we choose a frequency that we want to align with, and we're purposeful about that, then we it's like we have a connection with that energy. So entrainment is about our body being able to match an energy that's coming in from the external of our body. And when we can match that, whether it's a high or a low frequency, that's going to be our frequency. So when negative stuff happens, when calamity happens and we're resisting it, the emotions are of resistance, disappointment, all of that. That's what the universe hears. So what we want to do is find a frequency that we can align with that's a higher frequency. When calamity comes, we can send out gratitude for the help we know is available, the help that we receive. We can start from there, and our perspective and the results are going to be completely different. Completely.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know.
that's so beautiful. And what is spinning through my mind as you're talking is just how Saturn is that discernment. So Saturn is the energy of boundaries. It's the energy of, what we decide to let in and not let in, and how we make those
Mm-hmm.
choices. So
Yeah.
Saturn coming together with Neptune, and Neptune is, of course, that higher spiritual vibration of gratitude and compassion in its, positive form. Um, so if our Saturnian boundaries, and we can create, a discernment to say yes and no. Yes, I am welcoming
Mm-hmm.
these frequencies, and no, thank you to these other ones. And I'm, I have more thoughts, but but that is just
Oh,
how
yeah.
Saturn and
Yes.
Neptune come together. That's exactly what their message is.
So it's perfect. It's perfect timing for us to become aware of how to um, utilize and take advantage of what's coming in from the external part of
Yes,
us.
yes, it
I mean,
is.
not that. I mean, it's not that we end at our physical body. We know that it extends, so it comes through the the energy bodies before it hits our physical body. But it's all of that. It's comes in through all of that from the outside.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. Like right now with this is the lesson I think that we are learning, is that we do have a choice. And I think it's really hard to remember sometimes that we have a choice, right? We read the news,
Mm-hmm.
or we, hear about bad things happening in the world. And this is not at all to say, oh, just ignore it and it will go away, right? It is
Right.
it
Right.
is to say, um, that when you're choosing different possibilities, you can begin to create the structure around those higher possibilities. And that's what we
Mm-hmm.
want to be part of creating.
Yes. Yes, and I think it's helpful to consider that choice is a creative action.
Mm.
When we choose what we're going to vibrate, what frequency we're going to vibrate at, that takes us to a whole different level of creativity because of the expansion of the higher frequencies.
Beautiful.
So, if
Yeah.
you're wanting to be creative, raise your frequency.
Totally, totally. And this is Saturn and Neptune coming together at 0 degrees Aries. So this is not, go into your meditation hut kind of energy. This is go forward,
Yeah.
do things, find your courage, take action. And that can come from this place of believing in a higher possibility, and then taking
Yes.
action to create it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all
Yeah,
exciting,
it's so cool.
powerful.
Yeah. So now you mentioned something about binaural frequencies. So tell me about that. What is a binaural frequency?
So I bring it up because it's kind of going to be one of the things that we get to show you about Saturn and Neptune. Binaural tones are two tones that are different than each other. They're not off by a whole lot, but there's a place in each hemisphere of our brain that connects to the brain stem that interprets the frequencies, the sound frequencies that come into our from external to our body. And those places in our brain, when they hear a different tone in each ear, there's a whole mathematical process that happens. The brains take the difference between the two frequencies. So for Saturn's frequency is 147.85 and Neptune's frequency is 211.44. And the difference between those two is 69 something. What the brain does is calculates that in an instant and creates they call it an illusory tone. Your body, your brain hears that in the middle tone, the one that's the difference between the two. So you don't, your body resonates with is that 69 whatever from the binaural, which is one of the things that helps your body. Well, there's some disagreement about whether or not it has side effects or whether it's a good thing or not. The science is still not coming together about that really a lot, but it's not going to be harmful to you to listen to a binaural tone. But I know for myself, if I'm listening to a binaural tone and I'm starting to feel kind of cranky or you just, not right, then I just stop listening. So you just have to pay attention to how your body responds. A lot of people get better sleep. They feel more relaxed when they find a binaural tone that they really can resonate with, and then their body can entrain with. So it's a fascinating thing that the body knows how to do this. But with a tone that comes through binaural tones for these two planets, that takes us really, really close to the frequency for the Earth Star chakra, which is 18 inches below our feet, and that frequency is 68.05. So it's very, very close. So I just love the idea that the planets in our cosmic space can influence us in such a way that we can ground when we intend to be grounded, and we work with that frequency, we resonate, and we can really ground into our Earth Star chakra, listening to those binaural tones.
That's amazing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to experience that in a minute here.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the synchronicity of it all. And so when your ears hear different things on either side, right, that you're saying, the difference between those two is a whole different entity. And that's
Yes.
what astrologers are saying too, about when these energies come together, that they bring a new quality, like something new is being birthed here with the merging of these two energies. And that's so interesting. And Yeah. So, is there anything else that you want to share with us about choosing or frequencies or um, how this works?
Well, so I just will mention that there are frequency generators. You can get them on apps. You can get them on little machines. Some of you can get one for 30 or 40 bucks. You can get one for a lot more expensive than that. Rice machines are more, but there you don't have to invest in a lot of different tuning forks and that sort of thing. If you are just interested in a frequency generator, you can pick up one of those machines, or you can pick up an app, and they do give you a huge range of frequencies that you can play with to see where you feel the most comfortable, the most safe, the whatever you're looking for, you can find there. A lot of them have programs already designed for even physical issues. So that would be one way that you could inexpensively experiment with bringing your frequency up. There's a lot of different resources for what frequency helps certain things, like the 528 frequency is considered a sacred frequency. That is, it provides DNA repair frequency. It also brings in the divine unconditional frequency of love. So that's just one example of a frequency that you could plug into or choose on an app, and then practice aligning internally with that, bringing in a resonance. A lot of times resonance feels like a buzzing or a kind of a little, you can, it depends on how sensitive you are to frequencies, but it can actually feel like this in your body. And some people don't feel anything except feeling better. But those are ways you can actually align with these frequencies. If it's like something coming in from a planet, it's not necessarily something that is you're aware of. It's a lot about intention, and then working with the energies of the planet, like you just brought up, how Saturn and Neptune work together and bring in that new frequency, and just working on bringing that in as a priority in your thinking as well. And then what is it that I really want as the outcome to feel? How do I want to feel as the outcome of this? And then align with it as though you already have that feeling. That's what really brings you right into the resonance with it. And then resonance, again, is two different frequencies, or oscillating frequencies that come together. And so when that drops into place, your shoulders may drop, you may sigh, your body will shift. Your brain changes with sound or unheard waves. Your body changes, whether it's a low one or a high one. And so we don't always think of that or remember that. But that's part of why people with that are not neurotypical but neurodivergent have issues with the sound frequencies, because it all bombards them, and so they have to put up filters so that they can only allow in what their body can resonate with safely. And their neurotypicals don't necessarily have that clue. Their neurodivergents have a built-in clue about what frequencies are not helpful. And for neurotypicals, we tend to kind of ignore those that come in and not really paying attention to how they affect us. Whereas neurodivergent know instantly that it's not in alignment with their body. So that's fascinating to me too.
That's so
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. And if anyone ever gets a chance to experience one of your sound baths, or, I'm sure there are other practitioners
Mm-hmm.
in different parts of the country, but it's just, you just feel so good hearing these sounds. It's not like a
Mm-hmm.
music concert. But it is.
No.
It's the,
Yeah.
and
It is and
Deonne,
it isn't. Yeah.
yeah, Deonne plays these crystal bowls. In fact, I have Deonne's crystal bowls on my guided meditations. So works really well with that energy of setting intention and connecting with your own wisdom. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it really is just like a reset for your entire, like,
Yes.
vibrational, physical, emotional, everything.
Well, and one thing about that is that our society has a real difficult time accepting emotions that we call negative as normal. I mean, an emotion is an emotion. It's just energy that wants to be in motion. And we have been, for centuries, taught that they're not acceptable. Those anger, disappointment, all of those grief, all of those heavy energies get stuck in our body. And what happens over time as they're not released is they become crystallized in our body. And so they just get set. And what, when I think about looking through a crystal, even if it's a clear sphere, what we see is distorted. And it's that if we have a lot of crystalline stuck emotions throughout our body, it distorts our perspective and how we look on life, what our worldview is. It affects all of that.
What we see
And
as possible.
when, yeah, yeah, possibilities just get so distorted, everything. And so when people have never been to a sound bath before, I always like to explain that part, because when the frequencies come in, they start, especially if they're dissonant frequencies, which means they're a note right next to each other that just like is doesn't necessarily sound very good. That breaks the frequency that happens between those two notes start to break up that crystalline emotion that's been down there for forever. And as that breaks up, it doesn't feel good. We don't. Some people get like uncomfortable physical things happen in their body, nausea or pain or whatever, and other people just feel emotional about things, and it's hard for them to feel like it's a good experience. So I try to encourage people to just be with it for a bit and see if it will pass as it begins to release. But never should anybody stay in a sound bath if they're continuing to be uncomfortable. So people always have a permission to leave. But I think that's an important thing to say, is that if a sound doesn't make it's something happening inside of you from a sound, it's a good thing to explore and see what that might be about. Yeah.
And take it slow, right? Like, you don't have to
Yes.
push yourself to experience that,
No.
but yeah. And
But to be able to see it as a good thing, as to be able to see that things are starting to break up, is going to give you a better experience. To Yeah,
yeah,
where
and
your
what's
outcome is going to be more what you're expecting. If it's a good thing, then it's a good thing. But if it's a bad thing, then it's going to be your body's going to interpret that as a bad thing. So, yeah.
right. I mean, we're so in, I don't like the word control, but it's like we're so in integrity with our own experience that we do have these choices, and there's nothing wrong with us if we're not making the perfect choices all the time. That's just being human. But
Yes.
we could shift in the moment, right? We can go, oh, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
Yes.
I'm feeling, and especially with dealing with, the news and the information that's coming at us on a daily basis. Like, you just have to make choices for yourself on, okay,
Yes.
I need to step away, or this is not healthy for me, or, let
Yeah.
me, again, not about escapism, but about really doing your own healing work to create
Right.
that container where you can be your best self and your most empowered. So
Right.
that's big.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna hear you play Saturn and Neptune tuning forks. Is there anything you want to say before you do that?
Um, I don't think so. Just
Okay. Yeah.
see how your body takes in this frequency, and so I'll play Neptune first, and then I'll play Saturn, and then I'll play them both together. So we don't. I don't know. To get the binaural, you need to have one on one track and the other on the other track. But a you'll still get a sense of how this works, and it will still be powerful, even though we don't have it on stereo, right? Okay, so this is Neptune. This is Saturn. There. All right, this is the two of them together. Go.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing your gifts
You're
and
welcome.
your it's just, yeah, I mean, it's really so nice to have these experiential qualities to bring into the mental. We're doing so much
Right.
mental work on trying to wrap our minds around what is happening and what is changing. And
Yeah.
so thank
Yeah.
you for that
You're
sensation.
welcome. And change is inevitable when we can raise our frequency to match a higher vibration. It really is inevitable. Change is inevitable.
So, what would you say to someone who wants to know, is the world going to be okay? What are your personal thoughts on that?
Well, so my own personal perspective is the world is how we see it. So if I want the world to come into a higher plane of existence and of a change in the global interaction between humans, I have to see it that way. I have to see the possibility of that. And then I have to create an intention around that I can align with, that I can bring emotions in on a consistent basis that will support that alignment. And then the more that I'm able to do those two pieces and have resonance between my intention and my emotions, then my body will start to entrain my nervous system with all of that information. So it's very consistent, deliberate, conscious process. if I want to see the world as safe and healing, and that humanity is safe and friendly, I have to believe it from a place that my emotions will support that. So that's the work.
That's
So any
beautiful.
frequency that we can
Yeah.
allow ourselves to resonate with, that will bring us up a little higher notch each time we're on the road.
Love that. Wow. That's so well put.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And it brings it back to the Saturnian responsibility that each of us has to imagine and do our work to create that world, but also that it's a reminder that it doesn't have to be this heaviness. We do have that bigger picture of Neptune and the support of spirit and who we really are in that big picture.
It's
Mm,
beautiful.
thank
Beautiful
you.
time to be
Yeah,
alive.
yeah,
Yeah.
very powerful, creative, and an opportunity
Yes.
to
Yep.
come to terms with what we're afraid of and move through that and imagine something different.
Yep.
Thank you
Fear
so
can be a
much.
motivator. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
a
welcome.
motivator. Yeah.
It can be a motivator, and it can bring our vibration down. It can take our frequency through through it can take it so that we have no resonance going on at all within our body. That's going to help. That's what fear does. But it's an important thing to recognize that, okay, I'm not going to be afraid of it, but I'm not going to align with it, the fear. And I can say this because I lived a life of fear, raised in a cult, and completely controlled by fear. Once you disown the fear, once you send it away, you refuse to receive that frequency, like you were saying, the boundary that we have with the current positioning of the planets. That's a viable frequency that we can hang on to, that we can really connect with, and let ourselves move into a place of hope and creativity.
Mm, mm.
So, unfortunately, we think of fear being a motivator. It's not the best motivator,
Mm.
because when we let that frequency in, it brings our whole resonance down. Yeah. Just had to throw that in there.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah.
Because there's so much of it
Yeah. Thank you for
around
sharing.
that yeah, yeah.
And so just to restate what you said, that fear, we have fear, right? We are human beings. We have fear as part of our experience, but we don't have to, we can choose not to align with the fear. We can choose to remember that there are other possibilities. We
Right.
can don't have to identify with the fear, and it's a discipline, right? It's a practice.
It is. It is. Especially if you've been marinated in it for most of your life.
Yeah.
It's insidious. And
Mm.
so just recognizing what you're aligning with is a big step in the beginning, the first step, really. Yeah.
Wow. Well, so much food for thought. Thank you, Deonne. This has been just really
Oh, you're
powerful
welcome.
and and is
Thank you
itself an
for
act of creation. So thank you. Yeah.
true. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Transformationalastrology.com is where you can go to see all the guest speakers and sign up for those who are still yet to come. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.